All right, there we go. We are being recorded now, so good shape.
Yeah, another Halloween scare too. I just text you.
Oh, I got on with Connie and we were talking and lost track of the time. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, it was a good laugh. Thank you. You got it, Captain.
Nothing like Halloween early, right? All right. Anybody got anything you want me to cover or start out with today or
Well, I got something.
okay, go for it.
All right. Well, we have that new thing that you brought about social cyborg,
Yes.
and I was going over my head about where to start and going over a lot of your conversations from the past and about warming up an audience. So I decided I went back to my Genesis Vault and discovered that I created four videos on hope. And I was watching the videos with a very, a very strong thing about it. And I said, you know what? This is not bad. I mean, it's also a little warm up. So hope is this, motivation is that, innovation is this. Leave it at that. And what do you think about that possibility as a getting started with the social board? Thank you.
Well, the social cyborg program, it's basically it's a program that creates bots to post your social media content for you. And it's really cool. I have a beta group that is testing it right now to make sure that it's as cool as I think it is before we actually release it. But it every time I go in and look at it and interact with the people that are playing with it, it is really pairing out to be as cool as I think it was. So the idea of it is you can create and you can do this for clients. So anybody that wants to create like a social media agency, this is probably the answer. Of all the stuff that I've seen in the past, this program is probably the answer for you if you want to create an agency and supply social media for clients because you can set up a client and then you can set up the different channels, like a channel being like Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And then you can actually create and assign different agents to those. Like, let's say you have a YouTube channel and you want to create multiple agents to post to that channel. Those agents can now start posting, and they're not posting as you, they're posting as themselves. So it's like you added an administrator to monitor your channel and interact with your community. And that's what social media companies do. If you hire a social media company, you assign them to your account as an administrator, and they go in and they act on your behalf, an administrator. They do administration duties for you. Like they post, they answer people's questions, they interact, they do all that stuff, and you pay them accordingly. Generally, it's fairly expensive to get a company that will do that level of service for you. But to create these bots and have the bots do that for you, and as you know, we can create the bots to have a personality and have an image and have a persona and have a knowledge base and all that stuff to where they almost become undetectable as non-humanoids. So that's a really, really powerful thing to be able to do that. So anyway, more on that for those of you that are not in the beta group once we get it kind of flushed out and figure out pricing and how we're going to roll it out and all of that stuff. But Arba, go ahead. I know you're in the beta group here, so
Yeah, but that's not what I was going to talk about yet because I haven't really got into that. But
okay.
I just want to tell a funny story, another testimonial to quantum. So I'm in this other paid group, membership group, where this guy is teaching people all about AI. And so they're still doing the Frankenstein approach, use this to create this and then use that to do this. And he's like slowly going step by step how to do things. So anyway, I'm like, I could do that in quantum. I could do that in quantum. So and then he's like, put what you did in the group, so everybody can see your progress. So I did, and I don't know if you want me to share. It's 20 seconds, but
Sure.
I did. I'll put it in the chat and tell you. So I did this 20-second. It's a progression. It started with make yourself a Jedi, right? So the still image of a Jedi. I'm like, oh, that's easy to do with quantum. So I did a Jedi. Then it said change the background. So to show us how to change background, then do a video. So I did it all in quantum, and people are like, wow, you really understand this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, right. Anyway, I put it in the chat. It's a 20-second. Now the final thing I did, I used Canva, just to put a little extra on it. But I'm amazed myself, and I'm just like, these guys are sweating over there trying to figure out how to Frankenstein their homework. And I'm like, I got the cheat code.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
Arbo, why'd you go to Canva? You can, well, I don't, with Video Genesis, you can add stuff to the bottom and create it for yourself.
Because Video Genesis is another program. I'm trying to stick with Quantum and Canva.
It's in Quantum. Video Genesis is in Quantum. That's the one I use every time for my trailer, for my Friday
So
shows.
if John shows it, you'll see. You'll see the because I know Canva.
This is a classic example of John's find the laziest person to do something. This is a classic example because Arbor's like, you know what I mean? I know how to do it this way. I'm getting the job done. I got other things to do.
Exactly. Exactly.
I do the same thing. I use Photoshop, and I know
Listen to
Photoshop
this.
is like a foreign language to most people, but I like almost grew up on it. I've got probably 2 decades of Photoshop experience. So
Yeah.
to me, like Photoshop is, I don't even have to think about it.
Right. And
So
that's how I am with Canva. If
yeah,
I want to, if I want to put whatever, a cover on it. So I don't know. Are you gonna play it or?
yeah, I will pull that up here.
Looks like some people may have already clicked on it. I'm seeing people laughing.
Let's see. Let me share the screen.
Got to play the sound too. Make sure you got sound because I found some
Okay.
Jedi, some Star Wars music to go with it. It's only 20 seconds, so don't blink.
Okay, so here we go. We got it. Let me see if I can blow it up a bit. There we go. All right, here we go.
That's it.
That's awesome. That is really cool.
That's cool, Arbor.
Thank you. But all in quantum, all except, just I use.
You are the poster child for John's quantum, girl. You inspire me so much, and I love you.
Well, thank you, thank you. I've been known to be but that's by birth. I've been known to be the brown noser, teacher's pet, all of that stuff.
No, as Janie would say, that's just acknowledging who people are, seeing the truth of their being.
Thank you.
I love it when you guys use the stuff and get everything it's meant to be out of it. I think that is awesome.
Oh yeah. And especially when you're in a group and you see what other people are teaching people, and I'm like, oh heck no, I'm not doing all of that.
Yeah, as much as I love Perry Belcher, he does the same thing. He walks you through some of the most convoluted processes to get stuff done. And I'm like, oh my God, these people should just buy Quantum. And they just knock it out. And I cannot believe, like, as sophisticated as he is, I can't believe that he hasn't taken his GPTs and package them up into a usable suite like I did with Quantum.
Yeah.
It wasn't that difficult.
You
Well,
didn't think about it yet, that's all.
Yeah, and this is a really good point for all of you that need a product. And I know I've said this over and over. I think I say it almost every week. If you guys are sitting there with nothing to sell and you have access to a community of any sorts, that community needs AI tools. You could white label Quantum, you could create your own suite of tools. And when I say that, everybody's like, oh God, create stuff. No, no, that's not me. Well, it's as easy as using one of the Quantum tools to create more Quantum tools. There's an actual tool in the Quantum suite that when you are a white label, that tool actually builds the tools for you. You don't have to know how to do anything other than tell it what you want the tool to do. And then it writes the whole code for the tool and plugs it into the suite for you. It's really, really cool.
Oh,
So
by the way, the big thing I forgot to say is yes, I got a client. I won't say it's a new client. It's like I have so many clients already. So I knew who to show that to. And as soon as I showed that to him, he's, oh yeah, I want one too. I want, so
that's awesome. Yeah, but the white label gives you a product like ready to go with a bow on top. If you want to sell more stuff, even to existing clients, like Arba's already got a client base. I don't know if she's got the right client base necessarily to sell a Quantum suite to because she wants to do the services for them. But I know a lot of you are in industries where you are interacting with a bunch of people and you don't have something to sell to them. And it might be the perfect thing to give you something to generate revenue. And it could literally be any industry. And you don't even have to use your own brain power to figure out what to make them. You literally just go out to Chat GPT or Perplexity or Claude or Gemini or whatever you want to use, whichever one you're comfortable with, and just have a conversation. Strike up a conversation with the chat and say, I'm interested in creating GPTs for the XYZ industry. Can you give me a list of the most important GPTs that would solve problems for them? Or ask it the other way around. What's the biggest problems that a GPT could solve for this industry sector? And it'll give you the list. And then in the list, you can say, oh, can you help me write the descriptions in that to create these GPTs? And then you literally copy that, go over to the God mode tool, you paste it in, and it develops the tool for you. You don't have to know anything other than that. And I've literally got the script for having the conversation with AI to actually do all of that. So it's pretty much a no-brainer. You can ask anybody that's doing the white label and has gone through that how easy it is. I don't think Gina's on here today, but Gina creates tools in there like almost on a daily or weekly basis. She loves it. She's having a blast with it. And she's not a programmer. I mean,
John, that's God mode. That's the one with the white label, right?
yes, that's the
Okay,
God
thank
mode
you.
tool. Yep. Yeah, it's really cool. And I mean, literally any industry. We've made tools for real estate. Gina's made a whole suite of tools for attorneys, and not for legal advice. You can't have AI giving you legal advice, but more for the administration in the offices. The people that run the offices for law firms, there's a lot of stuff that AI can do to help them in their daily jobs. So she's figured it out. She's created a whole line of tools for them, and she's selling that now into those law firms. So that's additional income. And I got to tell you, of all the stuff I've ever sold, service requires effort, but SaaS requires nothing except accepting money every month. And what I mean by SaaS is software as a service. And that's what a white label would be. You would be selling software as a service to your clients. They pay you monthly, and you basically don't really have to do anything. They're paying you for accessing your suite of tools, and it's money just dropping in your pocket every month. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. If you offer any kind of service, you're having to do something to get that money. If you're offering SaaS software, you don't have to do anything to get the money. All you need to do is spend your time going finding more people that want to put that money in your pocket every month. It's a great business. Believe me, I have run all kinds of businesses across all kinds of industries with all kinds of platforms. And for me, software as a service has been the best, the creme de la creme of business opportunities. It's like nothing else. I still do hosting, but hosting requires time. People have problems with emails. That you cannot get away from customer service in the hosting world. Web development is even worse because you've got constant back and forth and changes. It requires your effort or your time. Even if you hire outsourcers, you're still going to have to manage all of that. It's labor intensive. And you want to take it up to a whole new level, just try and offer some SEO services. And holy shit, you are going to be inundated with work. So breaking it down, when you get to the base of the pyramid, that's where the gold is, and that's SaaS software. I've been doing SaaS since 2010 was the first time I offered SaaS with our Rainmaker software. That software is still running today. I mean, that's 15 years that software has been dropping money in my pocket for 15 years. And yeah, it's not doing as well as it was at one time because I haven't promoted it in 5 years. So, you have constant attrition. If I was more ambitious, I would keep on promoting it and keep on stacking and all that. But it's like, I'm having so much fun with AI. It's like, that would feel to me like going backwards. It's if I wasn't making enough money, yeah, I'd take a step backwards. I'd do what I need to do, pump it back up and get back on top. But what I've been doing over the years is just layering on more and more of these SaaS opportunities so I don't have to. Becky's another example. The Build a Becky software made it super affordable, 99 bucks a year, but it's still SaaS software. Every year you're going to pay the 99 bucks and buy another year's worth, right? To have that bot on your site for 99 bucks a year is a bargain. In adding services onto other things that are labor intensive, take a little bit of the pain out of it. Another perfect example on web hosting, almost anybody that has a WordPress site with me, I always offer Malcare software to them. So Malcare, it's 99 bucks a year, and it prevents hackers from hacking the WordPress sites. WordPress sites get attacked all the time. I don't have to do that. I just drop a plugin in, I connect it to the Malcare account. I pay the Malcare for the year. I get a discount because I buy big blocks of this. I buy like 50 sites at a time. So they discount it to me. I charge the client the same amount that they would pay if they went directly to Malcare. It's $97 a year if you go directly to Malcare. Because I buy them in 50 block, I get a much better deal on them. So I'm offering that up, making the money literally for doing nothing. So everywhere, there's opportunities everywhere for you to arbitrage and make money without doing work. Like everybody is just enamored with my ability to go play on my boat and make money and not have to work. I'm opening the curtain, showing you how that's done. It's not by involving time for dollars. Time for dollars does not work in my world. It doesn't get me where I want to go. SaaS software absolutely does. Affiliate offers. Malcare, I look at it as somewhat of an affiliate offer, even though I'm buying it and reselling it. That's more of an arbitrage model. But same thing. I could just send you directly to Malcare and I could get the affiliate commission. But I like to offer my hosting customers a higher level of service. I don't want them to have to go through that because they don't know how to do that. They're not going to know how to put the plugin in. They're going to be asking me the same question. They're going to be asking me more questions than if I just do it and just make the money. So it's all about working smarter, not harder. And I guarantee you, I don't care what you're doing. There is an abundance of stuff that you could add on that your clients need that you can get in the middle and make a little bit of arbitrage money on. That's just the affiliate world. I know most of you have heard this more times than you want to hear it, but the idea of selling the maternity dress. It's just a lead magnet. You don't have to make money on the first sale, but you know what that customer needs for the next 18 years. And all you have to do is just keep bringing it to them and making the money in the middle. The woman that sells the maternity dresses, she doesn't even make the maternity dresses anymore. She just outsources them. She buys them, sells them, and it's a lead generator. It's a lead generator for her 18-year marketing funnel. She just found all the vendors for all the stuff that mother's going to need for the next 18 years, and she put them on like a somewhat of a newsletter. Like the you guys have probably heard about the book What to Expect When You're Expecting. New mothers don't know what to expect. They have no idea what's about to be in store for them. And some of it could be horrific if they are not prepared for it. So this woman just becomes their best friend. She explains what's going to happen. Here's what you need to solve it. Here's the best deal I could find on it. And she just makes their life simpler. And what is she actually doing? She's dropping them into a funnel that she made 20 years ago. And it's still paying her. And it's going to pay her for the next 20 years. Everyone she drops in is an 18-year stream of income. So that's a pretty good way to live. 18-year stream of income. Aaron, go ahead.
So I just had a little chat with Chat GPT and I just said, like, broadly, what's the most searched for problem on the internet today? And it came up with, and like, would a Chat GPT help solve the problem? And it's health related issues. And so I instantly go into like, well, that seems like it could be a liability. Um, but it's true. Like, I'm a mom of twin boys, and I definitely do searching. So, like, say I was to create this, which I don't know that I would because I feel like it's a slippery slope,
Yeah.
but like, it would be a useful tool for someone like me, but I would want it to be reliable.
Yeah.
Um, and then how would you charge someone for that?
In dollars.
I know, but like I would feel guilty because it's like we want access to healthcare and it's already this problem in our country. So it's
Yeah.
like I
No,
would want to give it away,
I
but
would
I also am a stay-at-home mom, so making money, even if it was like $2
I
to
would
reach the
never
masses.
I would never worry about charging something or charging somebody for something that is either going to help them save time or save money. if what you're offering them is going to get them a benefit and it's going to save them time or save them money, like there's a lot of people, believe it or not, we are all extremely sophisticated in the world of retail. Like if you look at just the average person that has a computer, they don't know how to search. They don't even think to search for things. We just take that for granted. We really do. They don't. They're just like lost in the woods. If they were to pull up Google and go, "Oh God, I don't even know what to type in." It's almost like people using AI. AI is incredibly powerful, but it's only as powerful as the questions that you ask of it. If you ask generic questions, you get generic answers, which aren't really worth much. And, when you're talking about something that is health related, uh, they're going to search for stuff on Google and they're going to go down so many rabbit holes. They're going to spend so much time. They're going to get so confused and they're not really going to get any benefit. They're just going to waste a lot of time. And, if you could solve that problem, I would not have any problem at all charging somebody for that. And you don't have to gouge them like, I mean, look at me. I don't charge a lot for anything. I used to. When I was in the commercial world, yeah, I valued myself very high and I made a lot of money from people that I made a lot of money for. Like with consulting for people, I had no problem charging $1,000 an hour. And they had no problem paying me $1,000 an hour because I was saving them tens, if not hundreds of thousands, over maybe a month or 2 month period. So I had no problem whatsoever. I probably could have charged them a lot more and they probably would have paid it. But, I never ever have a problem. If you have a problem accepting money, then business is not a good world for you because that's what it's all about. It's about trading. It's about trading commodities. You're trading value for dollars. Some people trade value for value. They do value swaps. Some people, do product swaps. Like in my earlier days of SEO, I had my big clients, right? My big corporate clients. But when I started like breaking off and helping smaller businesses, a lot of my clients I did product swaps with. Like when I needed furniture for my house, I'd go into a furniture store, small time furniture shop, and I would ask to talk to the owner. And I would talk to the owner on this level. I'd say, "Look, I'm a business owner just like you. I don't really want to talk to the sales staff. I would like your opinion on what's the best furniture for me." And then naturally, and I never brought it up, they always did every time. It worked without fail. They would say, "What kind of business are you in?" And I said, "Oh, I get traffic for companies that want to grow their business." And they're like, "Oh, well, could you do that for me?" Every time. If I needed something, that's how I would get it without paying for it. And I would trade them. I'd say, "Yeah, I could do that. Here's what it costs. How about we just, trade? I need this furniture. You need that. Let's do it." I would do that with, I found a jeweler for that, to get jewelry. I got cars. I mean, all kinds of stuff, whatever I wanted. If I wanted something, I always liked to get things without paying for them. And that was one of the ways I did it. SEO was a perfect field to do that. But that's how I approached it. I would go in, ask for the business owner, and talk to them on a business to businessman level. And they'd always, like I said, without fail, they would always ask me, "Well, what's your business? What do you do?" and I'd just slip it right in under the rug, and it was a sale every time. It was crazy. I got so much stuff doing that. Ryan Dice actually did a podcast about me enticing people to get into the SEO field, to get into local SEO and provide services. And he interviewed me and used me as an example of here's a guy that can get anything he wants for free. And I wish I should probably look and see if I still have that podcast because it was classic, and it was right on the money. It's all about creating, whatever lifestyle you want. And business is about trading things of value, whether it's a product, a service, a SaaS software. You can decide what you want in trade. If you want dollars, that's fine. You provide the service, you give them value, they give you dollars. If you want to do, if you they've got something you want other than dollars, you that's your payment. It's this is a world that you get to create. Most people don't live in this world. Most people live in a world where they go to work for somebody that doesn't appreciate them. They pay them very little. Then they get taxed on top of that. And then whatever's left over after they feed their family, that's the money they have to play with, which usually is vaporware. That is a different world than I live in. I would not want to live in that world. Yet so many people do. And it's like they're in a box and they don't know they're in a box. It's like for me, I'm not aware that there's a box. I'm not in a box. I don't even know there's a box. It's a big difference. There's a very, very big difference to that. So, Ahmed, go ahead.
I'm going to build on what Aaron was asking and the concept you brought up, the SaaS.
Mhm.
So I am not a tech savvy or a computer wizard or, for that matter, a creator, but it seems like I'm heading that route, being in this group. So with the SaaS or the quantum God-like creator,
Yeah, the God
and let's
mode.
say I did create something, how do I go about getting its services like you have when we buy services from you? Can you
So
elaborate a little bit on that?
yes, so how the white label of Quantum works is you buy a white label license of the platform and it's $97 a month for the white label license. And then in there, you get to pick and choose. Once you go into the white label mode, you have the God mode tool to create tools. You also have an admin panel where you get to choose what is available, what you're offering. So you can take all of my tools, you can decide I want all of them, I want none of them, I want two or three of them, and you basically filter out the ones you don't want. So now you have my tools available that you want to offer in your suite. You get the ability to rename them, put new icons on them, make them your color scheme, brand them to your business. And then you can go into God mode and create the other tools that you want to offer. And when I say you create, you don't really create anything. You just tell it what you want. It creates them for you. You don't have to be a tech guy. You don't have to be uh, any kind of computer savvy whatsoever. If you know how to type and copy and paste, that's about the only skill level you need for this. And then basically you've put a bundle together in a suite under your name, whatever name you want to name your product. And now you have something viable to sell. Now, as you sell it, what you're doing is you're selling seat licenses. And the seat licenses, you pay me $9 per seat license. So that's the fee for every one that you sell. And then whatever you sell it for, you keep the difference. So if your cost on the seat license is $9 and you sell it for $99 a month, you're basically making $90 a month. If you want to sell it for $49 a month, you're making $40 a month. But it's over and over and over. So, and as many people, there's no limitation to how many customers you can have on there. It's $9 a seat, however many you want. And you can automate it. Like when the white label, I put together a protocol of how to basically create a whole business around it. And I use Kartra, and I have a Kartra template for this specifically, where it gives you a sales page to sell it. It gives you an opt-in page to get people to opt in that are interested in it. And then it has the product where they pay you through Kartra. And then there's a Zapier integration that when somebody purchases through Kartra, Zapier is kind of like a bridge between your Kartra account and your white label. And when they make a purchase in Kartra, the Zapier sends that zap across to the white label and creates their account automatically and sends them out an email with their login information. So it completely automates the process. Now, a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year later, let's say their credit card doesn't go through or they want to cancel for some reason. They cancel in Kartra. Kartra adds a cancellation tag that now sends a zap over to the white label and cancels their account. All on autopilot. So it literally is a business that just runs.
So you really created a business model package that you could automate to be selling the same thing with your own label.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that.
And the
And
way
you meant, go ahead.
the way that I tested it to make sure it was going to be flawless was I invited 4 people out on my boat for 3 days, and it was a white label session. And I said, for X amount, I will actually build the business for you. And that's where I created all those pieces, all the zaps, all the pieces. In 3 days on the boat, I created 4 businesses and made the template out of it and proved 4 times in a row that this works no problem. And all 4 of those people, when we got back to the dock on Sunday night, they all were up and running with a software SaaS business.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
Wow. And you mentioned something about real estate. That package, something you've done. Yeah. What is that?
One of the women that were on the boat for that white label, she's in real estate. So she was creating real estate tools. So once I got their white label up and running, I basically had it up the first day. So the second day of our cruise, the second day I was teaching them how to use God mode and how to create their own tools. And that's what she was doing. She was creating tools for the real estate industry so she could sell this to other realtors. And one of the tools that sold her on the idea that she wanted to do this was a tool that I literally made for her inside Quantum, and it's called Listing Pro. And it's still in there. I made it specifically for her because she was having trouble. I said, "What's your biggest problem with this?" She goes, "Writing the listings." She goes, "I usually just copy everyone else's and they're all boring and nobody shows up." When I made the tool for her, she used it to put a listing out, and on her first open house, she literally had people lined up out the door before she even got there. She said she'd never seen anything like it.
Wow.
And every time she was running an open house or listing a new property, she was getting phenomenal results because it was writing spectacular listings way beyond what everyone else was using. So that was what kind of sold her on the idea of, I need to make tools for realtors because this is working for me.
I'm not a realtor, but I'm sold on it. And I would love to be able to see what that it looks like.
Yeah. So I mean, a like I said, any industry, you can create the tools. You just have to find out like where's the pain points, what do people struggle with that an AI GPT could solve. And if you're not familiar with that term, a GPT is like a trained chat window. Like when you go to Chat GPT is just an open GPT. You can ask it anything. But like I said, depending on the quality of your question, the quality of the answer is going to be directly reflected. So with a GPT, with a custom GPT like we're creating in the Quantum Suite, we are literally writing the rules for how that GPT is going to answer. That way, the user doesn't have to know how to ask. They can ask generic, and we've now wrapped it with all the prompt. Like in some cases, some of the GPTs that I have in there, the prompts are like up to 20 pages of customized instruction that the God mode tool is writing to basically put a wrapper around their generic question so they get a spectacular answer. Because like I said, most people do not know how to use AI. AI is incredibly powerful, but it's only as good as the questions that you ask it. So it's good stuff. Daryl, go ahead.
Oh, thank you, John.
Yeah.
Just kind of a entry point here because I've been on Quantum for a period of time here now, but I've only used packages that seemed relevant right at that point.
Sure.
Well, I decided to start looking at other things, and I ran into several different packages there that it didn't have access to. Is that because they're in the white label or something?
Yeah, there's several of the tools inside Quantum are for the white label. Like the God
Okay,
mode tool is a perfect example.
right.
There's nothing really you could do with that unless you had a white label. And
Okay,
then there's several tools in there that are specific to the white label.
okay. I'm just kind of curious if maybe those should be moved into the white label.
Yeah,
Only because it
I
looks like, hey, I'm selling all these things, but you're only really actually getting this. So,
yeah. There's only a handful that are like that. And
right. Yeah, I
when you
know.
click on them, it says you need to have white label to access this tool. So
Okay.
it
The
does
other part,
say that it's part of that.
okay. The other thing on the white label, if I can read my notes here, um, I was making the assumption that if I sold access to Quantum to the white label to a real estate agent, I could have these apps on here. If I sold it to a marketing person, I could have totally different apps on there.
That
Today,
is
I'm getting the impression that you have one thing. So if you offer this to the real estate agent, it's also going to show on the marketing person's site.
that
Or
is
is it controlled by
it,
packages that I set up?
it is controlled. Yes, I left that out because I was trying to simplify the example.
Mm-hmm.
But for a deeper level of what is available in the white label, you have a thing called roles. You can create
Okay.
a specific role. Like you could create a role for a realtor that only had, say 6 or 8 real estate tools available to them if they
Okay.
purchased that role. And then you could set that up as a different product. And when the zap goes across, it has instructions of set this role. So that way, that's how you automate that.
Okay.
So
Super.
that is controlled by roles in the dashboard. So you can create as many roles as you want. You could create
Okay.
like a beginning role that only had a few tools, a few basic tools, and then you could have an intermediate that had a few more tools, and then you might have an advanced that has all the tools.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, and you could also do it like specific industry, like marketing tools, realtor tools, yeah, plumber tools, whatever you want.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Arbo, go ahead.
The one comment I wanted to say about this is not what I originally raised my hand about, but the fact that some tools say that you need to upgrade, I mean, I see that as a lead magnet. I mean, I see that in a lot of different SaaS, as you say, or whichever, that you
Yeah.
want to give little ticklers, little breadcrumbs of stuff that when they click on it, it says you have to upgrade. That way, that's the way people know that there's like some advanced stuff that they could
Yeah.
get if they upgrade. I've gotten hooked many times by that. Um, but the thing I had raised my hand about was when I started my business back in the 90s, it was not because I wanted to start a business. And I know, John, you talk about this a lot. It was because there was a need
Mhm.
that I knew I could fulfill
Yeah.
and that I could inject myself into that. And because I work with a lot of solopreneurs now, the constant thing I keep hearing is either they got something and now they're trying to figure out who to sell it to or how to sell it or how to get leads. Where I have seen success when you are already in a certain environment or in a certain group or
Mhm.
you already have people that's your warm market and then you listen and find out what it is that they need. And so then you give the solution to the people you already know. And so that's all I want to say is a lot of times people are racking their brains and they're coming up with some widget or some whatever, and then they're like, okay, who do I sell this to? How can I sell this? And I just think that's backwards. But that's my engineering brain.
Yeah,
That's
that's almost everything I've ever made is that way. I made it because somebody needed it. Like that's where quantum came from. Remember, I was talking and teaching you guys how to do AI for almost a year before I realized, oh, they're never gonna get this. They're that I can't like transplant that thought process of mine of how I do this stuff to everyone. I just can't. And I'm like, okay, well, I can transplant it into a product, and then they don't have to have the transplant. They can go and just do what they normally do, and I'll wrap them with a blanket of success. So that's where quantum came from. It was
John, when we have questions, do we send those to support or does everything just go to you? I hate to bury you in
yeah,
easy stuff.
normally it goes to support. Connie monitors the support, and
Okay.
a lot of the questions she has a canned response for. So, if it's something that she's heard before, she probably has a canned response. She just hits that, off it goes, and it's no big deal.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
and if it's something that she doesn't know or whatever, then she reaches out to me and you get it right from the horse's mouth. So it's all right. Aaron, go ahead.
So all of this is so new to me. I'm still like learning the language and I just want to see if I'm like grasping it. So obviously I'm not white label yet.
Mhm. Sure.
I feel like I'm in that stage. I just keep seeing the shiny pennies and I'm paying everyone and then I'm not making
Yeah.
money. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to focus.
Yeah.
But just so I understand, you were talking about seats and it's $9 and I think it's like 97 or something just initially to get white label.
Correct.
So God mode can create a GPT. So is that GPT a program in the white label? So
Yeah.
whatever I create, if I'm not charging $9, then I'm not making anything. Because like in order for me to sell that GPT that I create in God mode to anyone, it has like that's
You
creating a seat for them.
correct. You would be selling them access to your platform.
Okay.
Your platform could have as many of those GPTs as you want. You can use any of mine. Like you could say, "Hey, I really like 5 of your tools that would work perfect with my audience." So you just take my 5 and then you add whatever other ones you want to add, and you don't have to have them all at once. You can add, just enough to kick off. And that's something that you could tell people is, "Hey, if you get into my early beta program, I'm going to lock your price in at this low level. Let's say you charge them $29 a month. Your cost is 9, so you're making $20 a month. And you tell them, because you got locked in here, I'm going to grandfather you in. Over the next year, I'm going to be adding some incredibly valuable tools, and you won't pay any more for them. You'll get access to everything that I create. That's a really good incentive to get people to lock in early and start paying you before the product's even complete. It's what we call a minimum viable product, an MVP. And all you have to start taking money is an MVP. And I have actually sold MVPs before I even had access to the product itself.
Hmm.
I have actually sold programs before they were even made. In fact, you're new, so you probably haven't heard this, so I'll tell this story again. So if the rest of you have heard it too many times, I'm sorry. But this is important. I won't create something unless I've sold it first, in most cases. Unless I have an audience already there and I know they're going to want it and they've already told me, and okay, I'll build it for you. But when I created my first digital course, I'd never done it before. I had no idea even how I was going to do it. I had a group of women that were in a photography club in Orange County, and they were interested in having me come speak about SEO. And at the time, I was only servicing large customers, and I knew these women could not afford me. They were small businesses in Orange County, and they were in the professional photography industry, which I had been in before I even got into the digital stuff. So I kind of had a soft spot for them because of that. So I agreed to go and speak and talk about SEO, but I knew they were all going to want it. And I knew I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it for the price they could afford. So I get the idea of I'm going to offer them a digital course of how to do it themselves. And it was funny because I told my wife that, and she looked at me kind of funny. She goes, "You don't have a digital course." And I'm like, "Well, that's right. And I'm not going to make one either unless they buy it." So I went, I spoke to them, and it was incredible. Almost everybody in the room decided to buy it. And I told them, I was totally upfront with them. I said, "This doesn't exist, but if you guys want it, I'll make it for you. I'll do a course over 8 weeks where on Monday, the first Monday, I'll teach you the first lesson of what you need to do. And then you'll have all week to do it. And Friday, we'll have a conference call and I'll answer all of your questions. And then the following Monday, we'll do the second lesson. And there's 8 pieces. There's 8 pieces. This is the things that you need to do to get up in the search engines. This is what I do for commercial customers, and I charge them a lot of money for it. I'm going to basically give you the keys to the kingdom here, walk you through step by step how to do it over 8 weeks. And I said, if you want to do that, I'll charge you $297. And almost all of them got their credit cards out. I had I had blank order forms. I took all these credit card numbers, went home, ran the cards, had this stack of money, and I'm like, oh shit, now I got to build this thing. And I had no idea how to do it. I had never done a screen share recording. I had never done any of it. So I gave myself a month to figure it out. I told them the first Monday is going to start on, the first Monday of next month. So I got it up and running. I figured it out. I delivered the first course. The end Friday, we did the Q&A, and they were absolutely thrilled with it. They were getting results. Everybody was happy. But the last week, the 8th week, I was doing the conference call, and these women were literally freaking out. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, slow down. I go, I will stay on this call with you until all of your questions are answered. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to cut you loose until all your questions are answered. And they're still freaking out. I'm like, what, what's the problem? And they're like, what are we going to do next week? And I'm like, well, you're going to do the stuff I just showed you how to do. That's what you came here for, right? And they were still like freaking out because I was going to be gone. And I'm like, well, would you want me to continue this call? And they're like, please. They begged me for it. And I had no intention of doing that. And I said, well, would it be worth 29 bucks a month? And they're like, absolutely. And that was in, I think, 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. And that's the call you're on today. It's still going. That's where this came from. So it was because that's what they wanted. So that's why I do it. And along the way from 2009 to now, you would not believe the amount of things that I have built and sold to this group because they asked for it. Quantum being a perfect example. The white label of quantum being another example. So it's just
So
like,
you created your own focus group.
yeah, it's like whatever you guys want, all you have to do is tell me. I've created reseller programs out of it. It's like whatever is needed. SEO services, local services. Everything I've done has been for you. All you have to do is ask. So that's a perfect example of taking feedback. Just make what people want. And that falls back on what I initially said. You're creating value. Don't be afraid to take money in exchange for value. You don't have to gouge people. You can be very fair on your prices. Uh, I will tell you where I got that whole trajectory change, because when I first came in business, it was all about my max value. It was about, how do I get $1,000 an hour or more? And, big customers, I just thrived on big customers. It was like taking down an elephant, and that was just a game for me. I loved it. And it was like a challenge. But I remember sitting down with an old business guy, an old friend, and he ran a manufacturing plant. And I came in just strutting one day because I just got a big national company. And I was bragging, about this new client that I just brought on. And I called it a whale. I go, I just got me a whale. And he's like, yeah, you got to be careful with those. And I said, really? I thought he would encourage me, but he actually was cautioning me on that. And he said, that can be a curse. And he said, you need to look at your income streams as appendages. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He goes, yeah, look at your income sources as appendages. He said, if you only have two, if you have two big customers, but you only have two, he said that's like having two arms. If you lose one, your life is going to be changed forever. It's going to be very different and not in a good way. He said if you have 10, that's like having fingers. He says if one of them gets cut off, it's going to hurt. It'll hurt bad. But tomorrow morning you're going to wake up and your life isn't really going to be all that different. But with the two, if you lose one, that's going to change your life. That's going to damage forever. And he said, if you only have one, that's like losing your head. Lose your head, it's the end of the game. But he said, if you have customers like hairs on your head, he said, if you lose one, you won't even feel it. So that changed my whole thought process of how many people and how much I wanted to charge them. So it's, in either one, there's no right or wrong. I did well on both sides of the fence. It's just a different outlook. But, I am much happier helping people at the level I am now and not charging you much for it than I was having just a few big clients and charging them a boatload for it. So it's just wherever you fit, whatever makes you feel good is where you should be. So I know there's some of you, man, you want to bag the elephant. I get it. And if that's what you want to do, I can tell you everything there you need to know about bagging an elephant. But it's just all about you. What is right. And in the ACT program specifically, that's where the freedom formula comes in. The freedom formula is the way you figure out the math for how many people it's going to take for you to live your ideal lifestyle. So if you haven't done that exercise, I think that's a really foundational exercise just to get your mindset in the right space and also to be able to take a realistic look at what you're doing and see if it's going to get you where you want to go. If you do the freedom formula and you say, okay, I need $10,000 a month and profit, and then you look at what you're selling, how many units you would need to move to profit $10,000, it might not be realistic. The market might not be big enough to justify that sales goal, or you might not have access to that many people, or whatever. It might not work. And you can know if it's not going to work in a matter of a few minutes. You don't have to spend years figuring that out and failing over a long period of time. If you're going to fail, let's fail in 5 minutes and get on to something good. But it also can tell you, okay, well, I still need the $10,000 to lead this lifestyle. I want my kids to go to private school or what have you, and I need this much to make that happen. And I really want that to happen for them. So you might start looking at your business opportunities differently. You might change your thought about being willing to take money from people because that's what's going to get that for you. And you might change what you're going to offer because what you were offering may not have filled the ticket. You might say, I need to offer something different. Maybe I need a different marketplace. Maybe I need a different industry. In the earlier years where I needed a lot, I went for the commercial accounts. Wasn't necessarily because that's where I was the happiest, but that was what filled that thing. That's what got me what I needed. So it's a different way of looking at it. And it really is. It's a great exercise if you're just getting started and trying to figure things out. It'll put you on track. Go ahead, Arba.
So this is just like your opinion. So like I said, I'm in a lot of different groups, and some of them are gamifying to try to get people to do stuff. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I saw gamification kind of come into the internet marketing space a long time ago. And it was I liked it. It was a cool thing. It wasn't necessarily for me. Like I thought about different ways of how I could gamify stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't need to do that. But it's not a bad thing.
But my thought, the reason I asked that is because it seems to me, but I mean, I'm an overachiever and I realize that. And I've tried counseling, it doesn't work. So that's why I was saying maybe that will help some people, but I don't know. My feeling is that it's just not helping. It's a temporary thing because some of these groups I'm in, I've seen people take action only because they're trying to get the award or reward or whatever, but they don't really internally keep it going. They're not consistent. They're only doing stuff when there's a game. So that's really, I'm wondering,
Yeah.
psychologically, it's how is it helping?
Yeah, and it's funny that you say you're an overachiever, so that was appealing to you. I'm on the opposite end. I am an underachiever. I want to do the minimum to get the maximum. So that's probably why it wasn't appealing to me. But what you're describing is you're describing more community activities. And this is a really bizarre phenomenon. It took me a long time to really understand it because I learned it from my mother. My mother was, well, our whole family, we've been overweight. That's just, kind of runs in the family. And for as far back as I can remember, she was part of this weight loss group called TOPS International. And TOPS stands for Take Off Pounds Sensibly. And she would go to the meetings every week. She would go to the conferences every quarter, and she'd go to the annual big seminar every year. And I mean, there was thousands of these women, tens of thousands of these women that would go to these conferences. And it blew my mind because I'm talking like as far back as I can remember. I was just a little kid when she started going to these things. And it was like a ritual. It was like, Sunday worship. They would go every week and they would do their meetings, they'd weigh in, and then they'd go out to dinner and they'd eat. I'm like, that seems a little counterproductive, doesn't it? But it wasn't about losing the weight. And they had all the games you're talking about. They had all the award ceremonies. They had all that gamification to make it fun for the community. But I'm telling you, over a 30-year period, I mean, I literally grew up watching these women and I knew a lot of them because, they were friends with my mom and, they came to the house and all this stuff. I watched these women gain weight for 30 years in a weight loss club, right? It wasn't about the weight loss. It was about the community, the camaraderie, and the interaction. That's what they were there for. They weren't there for the goal. They were there for each other. They were there for the community. And I see that a lot even in this space, even in the internet marketing space. I see a lot of the mastermind groups. I've been with several mastermind groups for, a decade or more, and it's the same people not making any forward movement. They're there not to do the forward movement, they're there for the community. And at first, like even people in our group, it's no different. Anytime you have a group of people, there's always going to be people they just want part of the community. And at first, I wasn't good with that. I want everybody to get the benefit of what I'm offering, right? And I kind of felt like a failure because some people weren't making it. And I took that personally internally and it wasn't good. And I, started bringing up thoughts like, what am I doing this for? Why am I even here? Should I just, pack it up and just go do something else? But then I realized and I equated it back to my mom's deal. And it wasn't about the goal. It's more about the community. So I stopped faulting people for that and started, just recognizing them for what they are. And it's fine. It's great. Everybody gets what they want. If the community is why they're here, that's cool. I'm good with it. But it was hard for me to get my head wrapped around that. But looking back on it, I mean, it's a real deal and it's kind of bizarre.
Well, thank you, because you confirmed the exact conversation that I had with someone about this, and
Yeah,
you confirmed what we finally realized.
yeah. It's a very strange phenomenon,
Mhm.
but it's absolutely real and it's everywhere. I mean, there's people. This goes even to the highest levels. I've been in yacht clubs where here's people that spend an atrocious amount of money to be in the yachting community and they don't even know how to drive a boat. They've got a boat, it sits in a slip or on a mooring. They occasionally go out and have cocktails on it, but that thing will never see the open sea. I'm like, really? And they go to all the meetings, they go to all the dinners, they interact with all the other boaters, but they have no intention of ever boating. and they're spending a shitload of money. I mean, I don't know if you know what it costs to be in a yacht club. It's not cheap. And even owning the yacht itself is not cheap. And they'll spend all of that just to be part of something. Again, it's bizarre to me. Like, I go to my boat all the time. I swear to God, I walk down the dock and it's all the same boats. They never leave. There's probably 60 boats on my dock, and mine is out off the slip more than all of the rest collectively. It's like, why do these people even have a boat if they're not going to use it? But it's the community. They come down, they hang out on the dock, they get to know their neighbors. It's community. So if anything, there's a lot of money made on people that want to be part of something. So that's another thing. I mean, I never really thought of this until just now, but it might even be a better thing than SaaS software. Just create a space for people to come and have a community, and you don't really have to do anything.
Yeah, that's what I said, that I'm involved. I'm a member, not just saying involved. I'm a member of a couple of these communities. And that's what you do is you pay an ongoing membership,
Uh-huh.
and the leader of it just pops in there once a week and does, some
Yeah.
training that they could do with their eyes closed, and and then just say, "Hey, so everybody, okay, now I showed you, now do it." And bye. And and then that's when we all get to chatting in the community, and I'm dropping my homework assignment in there, and the rest are all, "Oh, that's great, that's great, that's great." And I'm like, "Did you do yours?"
Yeah, and I mean it goes up to massive groups of people, associations.
Yeah.
Like I speak at the Western Pool Association, and every year they do their big conference in Long Beach, and every year, you got the same people in there, and they're sitting in on the same seminars, but they're not doing anything. They're not taking action. They're not advancing their businesses. And it's like, I might talk to somebody for 4 years in a row in a conference before they actually reach out to me to do something, if ever. It's like they're just part of that community. Their pools are their thing. They're in the pool business. So this happens everywhere. This is like, and I never really thought of what the opportunity to create a bucket for people to drop money in just to be part of it. Pretty wild. There's opportunity everywhere. You just have to open your eyes and look around. So pretty cool stuff. But like, everything we're talking about, it's all easier said than done. Like running in a community and all that, there's some administration to it. There's work in anything that you're going to do. So don't think that money's just going to fall out of the sky. You gotta create some infrastructure, and you got to do something. Got to do something for it. It's like, I think last week or within the last couple of weeks, I had told that story about when I was doing the seminar and I taped the dollar bills under everybody's seat. And I said, I'm going to show you guys all how to make your first dollar, and you're going to make it right now today. And I said, I want everybody to stand up. I want everybody to reach under your seat and untape what's under there, and hold it up so I can see it. So here I got a whole audience full of people holding up a dollar bill. And I said, there's proof. You just made your first dollar, and all you had to do was get off your ass to do it. So it was, I mean, that the whole place just roared. It was an awesome example. But that is so true. If you're gonna make a buck, you gotta get off your ass to do it. You can't just like think about it. You gotta actually do something. You gotta take action. The feet, the feet can't just be on the ground. They have to start moving or you're going to stay in the same spot. So, Allie, go ahead.
Hi. Um,
Don't you
I
just love my stories?
I do actually. I don't mind hearing them over and over because I always get a different nugget for myself. I just want to mention about gamifying. Arba, I John always gives us great ideas, and I'm I'm an artist. I'm a different type of mind, and like I've been with John a long time, and I could maybe fit in the category of appearing to not do stuff, but I do individual artwork and then I sell it. But I always listen, and I'm always like, it's like I need a translator, a business, like John's like, talking giraffe, and my brain is like, and then I'm like, that's one thing. But uh, with the gamifying, I actually put it into chat. What are the most effective personality types that would not only want gamifying, but it would help them instead of just being like what you had mentioned, and where people do it and then they're not really they're just doing it to win. But it's got a like Pavlov dog effect in that it hits a dopamine. It's just like getting a somebody liked me thing. And so that's a good way to segment your audience into, like John is, he's like, he shared with us he did something, and he's like, whatever the label, it figured out what he is. It's like truly he's like the wise guide, but he doesn't need that gamifying stuff. But like if you were to use Disc or Bank or whatever, if you ask AI, whatever program you like, what are the personality combos that would most respond to this kind of marketing? This way, because you're already, and everybody else, whoever this has successful businesses, that will tell you exactly who to market that type of thing to. Whereas your introverts and other types of personalities don't respond to that, like your science people, like DISC. It means all those different ones, but the science and information people don't respond to gamifying, but the fun person, the I person, totally does. So anyway, I just thought I'd insert that for everyone because I thought it was interesting research, and because and the fact that people get addicted to it because they get that little hit of dopamine. So, and I'm not in favor of training people like dogs, but whatever works, girl. So, yeah, so I'm making slowly but surely progress on business world, but as I make real art. Anyway, love you all.
Well, sometimes, you've heard the thing that when you're ready, the teacher will appear. And sometimes you have to hear the same thing, and then all of a sudden one day you'll go, "Oh my God, I get it." Or I've had this. Somebody says, "Oh my God, why didn't you tell me that before?" I'm like, "I've been saying this for every week for the last 2 years."
Right, or maybe 15. I
Yeah.
know. I know, and that's what it's like. I get sometimes embarrassed to ask the questions because I'm like, oh boy, I just don't know what to ask. But I'm getting close. I started making my website, my new different version, and uh so slowly but surely I'm digesting it because I have to translate, like, well, what could I serve? Because I am building a community, John. I'm very proud to say, and but I want to do it slow back here, and then come forward with something that I could actually ask. That something that I need your help with. I mean, I need your help with all of it, but I'm plugging way back over here. So that's what I'm trying to do is figure out what do artists need, or like Arbo, what you were saying and what John was saying, ask your community, what do you need and want, instead of, because I listen and I'm like, oh my God, what could I do? But it doesn't translate for me. It's like, it sounds like a great idea, but I can't get it to work in my brain, like in terms of whatever like when John talks about the quantum programs, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just figure out who to serve. So anyway, and what to offer. That's what I'm over here trying to do, because I'm still making original art and doing art shows and things like that, but I see the wisdom of John and of course the residual income. And that's what I'm going for, because that's just wise. He's just so masterful at the wisdom of business. So anyway, thank you.
Allie, you just brought something to mind that I told you years ago that you should do.
Probably.
And now with AI, you could do it even easier. And do you remember when I told you that the money is in corporate?
Uh, no.
So it was at one of Craig's events, and you were trying to kind of find your way, and you had a piece of art that you were displaying for everybody to see, and it was like a company emblem where you were showing in the artwork, you were conveying basically the ethics and the foundation of a company through
Mm.
through art. And I thought like a family crest. The
Oh
family
yeah, the family crest. Yeah, I do
the
remember that.
family crest like represents the backbone of a family and their history. And that would be, and that's all pure ego play, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
And business owners are the biggest egomaniacs that there are. So to have a family crest for a business owner that represents like what they stand for and the foundation and the principles of their company, they would pay a lot of money to have that developed for them. And you could do the marketing around that, and then you could create that piece of art for them.
Do you
Now,
think it would be like John, I spent time thinking about this, and like, do you think it would be like where it's not a declaration of independence, but I don't know.
you could attach that like their ethics of their
Yeah.
company ethics. And what you would do, you would go in and you would create a GPT that was trained to do these images. Just like I've got Logo Beast in there, you could actually create a tool that would create company emblems, like coat of arms for a company. And then all you have to do is just get the information from the company, plug it in, and the thing would generate the thing for you. And you don't even have to do it. You don't even have to be an artist. You could either allow them to generate their own, or you could do it for them as a service.
See, now I know your brain has all the bridges and connections, and mine, I'm like, it's like I'm tracking with what you say, but to figure out how to actually do this over here, that's where I break down, John. To be very honest, I'm like, to develop the product, and like even if I said, okay, I'm going to take 3 companies from our little group and do it for free, like you and whoever wanted me to try it, I don't care who else and you, right? I of course I think I would have to purchase quantum god mode, right? The 97 a month.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could call that the company coat of arms, and then
That's
people
good.
would buy that. I know a lot of small business owners that would buy a company coat of arms just for ego.
Well, I don't know them. Maybe we could talk.
And then you could sell them flags and shirts and all kinds of merchandise for their company out of that coat of arms. I mean, I think that would be a whole business in itself.
See, I would be so willing to try this. But I just have to. Maybe me and you could spend a 15-minute call on it, because I need it. I just and even going through the back end of quantum, and just like my brain melts down with the step by steps. And like if I showed you my new artwork, you guys, I know that you would be kind of blown away, but I don't, this is the part that I just wish I had a different kind of brain.
But it is, it's the same. When I think back, it's the same idea I gave you then, but now it's just
Yeah.
so much
That was
easier.
like 10, maybe not 10 years ago, but yeah. And I couldn't figure it out then too. And I thought it was a great idea. I just,
Yeah. So
darn
just
it.
make it so much simpler to
Yeah. Now it's even simpler to do.
But you
Yeah.
can see
So
that like on flags and pennants and emblems and stickers and shirts. And I mean, you could sell them a whole corporate package for all their employees. Yeah, that would be really cool.
yeah, it could be a welcome when you onboard somebody.
I mean, you could even have like baby gear, baby bibs and stuff, and say like the next in line to wear the coat of arms.
Next, the next gen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you could do all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh boy. Well, okay. Anybody who wants to help me, who's got a business brain, I'm open.
So
All
that
right. Well, thank you. I don't
that,
want to take up all the time. I really appreciate you, John.
that was
That's,
just my flywheel running wild.
yeah, I love your flywheel, man. I love all of you. I love listening to the
So,
business.
so Allie, this is Jerry. When I was in corporate, we spent thousands of dollars on specialty products that we gave away at meetings. You know, we'd have tons of meetings. If you get some of these big corporations, it's unbelievable what they'll buy and how much they'll spend.
To gamify.
Right.
Employees could win it.
Oh
Yeah,
my.
you could gamify the coat of arms. You could have all these empty spaces and they have to do certain things to fill in the coat.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Gonna, I'm gonna do my best to figure this out. Thank you, all of you.
And I think the problem you might be solving is in corporate leaders have a hard time. They come up with the mission, the vision, the core values, but it's not living oftentimes. You know, 80-90% of corporations, it's not visible or revisited on a monthly basis. And if the wall art, one image could have the wall art with integrity and then calligraphy script at the bottom of the image of what does integrity mean to that corporation. And there's 5 pieces of wall art for each of their core values, and then one for their vision, one for their mission.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that would be cool stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's like Jim said, it's usually one dimensional when they do it. You could bring it to life.
yeah,
E-
yeah, because I have an incredible imagination and I'm great at marketing and ideas and advertising and copy and concept and all that. But this is the part that's a big challenge. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
May I jump in onto this since I'm next anyway?
Yeah, yeah, go
The
ahead.
reason I was raising my hand is to tag on this whole subject.
Oh,
Alice, you have a creative mind,
yes,
is the best way to put it. You're
yes.
not a logical person,
No, no.
and a step-by-step process for you to take time to do something requires energy and a lot of effort on your end in order to achieve that part of it. At least that's what I see from what you just said.
Yes, it's true.
And when you're in the fog, it's very foggy, which means if you're in the forest, you can see all the trees. John and I and everybody else in this audience is one of those great part of the community is we are not in it with you. So therefore we see a lot of angles and now we're bombarding you with a lot of thoughts. So now that I think it's worth going back and revisiting this recording for
Yes,
a couple of things to reportion this again and rewrite down all the steps that John was talking about and everyone else was. And I'm going to add one more above and beyond the corporate level. You indicated that you do craft shows and art shows and those kind of things. And John mentioned about a community, and Alice was talking about a community and how people and they just want to belong to a community. Well, this is your opportunity to monetize that. When you're at those shows, have a sign-up sheet that gives them the name and the email address. If you want to be involved in this community, and you'll get so much, whatever, entry free for the first month for right now. And then eventually you charge $10 a month for that matter. And all of a sudden you have an audience that, and what you do is you take pictures of all your past drawings and you bring one at a time and discuss it with the group in every session to create for $10, whatever. And you just create a community that pays to be part of your world. And above and beyond the corporate until you get yourself on the right footing, financially and otherwise.
Yes,
It's just an
I
additional.
don't know your name, sir, but
Ahmed, I'm sorry, my name is Ahmed, and I just blew up my computer and I had to reprogram it, and all of a sudden I have an owner name on mine instead of
well
Ahmed.
done, Ahmed. I always
Thank
love
you.
to blow my computer up. It's fun.
So to say the least, I would put Windows 11 on it and it's not supposed to get it. To say the least, it start crawling. So I had to go back to the way it was.
Oh, well done.
But anyway,
well, that's what I'm working on.
I just wanted to add on.
Thank you very much. I'm okay. So I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm really proud of myself, John. You'll totally get this because this is the first time I've ever done this. But I am creating the community, iamwildgrace.com. Oh, thank you, Ahmed. And I actually got it up online. And if you all go there, all it is right now, I'm very proud of myself. I picked a template and I figured out how to get the name cheap connected to the thing. And I know all of you are laughing because it's like totally it's not even 101. It's like, the ABCs of tech world and whatnot. But it took me 2.5 hours to just do that. So I am really proud of it. And what I'm doing is working on I have gotten my artwork scanned that I want to put in that gallery. It's a little like a kind of widget that you plug that will have my art, and I'm working on the copy and I'm working on the community. And, I'm, believe it or not, I'm a brilliant coach. That much I know. And so I'm putting the pieces together. And anyway, that's what I'm doing, you guys. And I'm really proud of myself, but I wasn't going to tell anybody. I wanted to show you when I had something good up there, but so keep me in your prayers because that's what I'm working on every day.
And there was one advice I received. I think at one point, John mentioned it to me personally, but other coaches that I've had over the years. If you find yourself procrastinating sometimes or getting too long to do something, then you're not good at that thing. Find someone who can do it for you quicker, faster, and easier, and maybe somewhat with a little bit of money, and get it out of your system, because the more money and time you spend on it, the more money you're wasting.
Right. Well, that's why.
So just keep that a thought.
My melting friend, I used to call him Big John. I'm going to have to call him Tall John. That's why I'm here, because someday I'm going to be having to be able to work with John or Tim. You guys are all great. So anyway, yes, I hear you, Ahmed. It's not that I procrastinate. I'm very productive as an artist. I just this part is my hard part, and it's
doing the other stuff is not your cup of tea, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's not your really tool.
Yes, exactly.
And so Arba is great at it.
I know.
So tag team.
Yes, John, Arba, Tim, everybody else probably.
Arba, I would love to connect with you as well. I mean, just a thought out there.
I put my calendar. I responded with my calendar to you.
Oh, you did, Arba?
No, to Ahmed.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just don't like put my calendar out there because it's
no, I get it. Well, thank you very much, all of you. I appreciate you, and It's an interesting mind to have over here. So it's good. All's well.
All right, let's go to Russ.
Hey John, how you doing, buddy?
There he is. Did you see I ordered another umbrella?
I saw that. You're gonna have it all decorated. Everybody's gonna be freezing out there. Where's the heat?
Now I'm just having to attach those clamps and stuff. So that's my next gig this week.
Oh man, I can't wait to see it. Hey, quick question for you. Is the SitePop software, Rainmaker software still working?
It is. The problem with it is the reporting.
Aha.
It's not reporting accurately.
That was my question because if
Yeah.
I look at the marketing assistant, it says I'm found on page one, rank 7. And if I go into the report, it says I'm on page 100. So something's not
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. The reporting is completely off because Google changed some stuff with their API connectors and stuff, and it completely bombed out our reporting end of things. But the software itself is doing what it's supposed to do, and it does it well.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't worry about that. It's just in the reporting end of it. Don't pay any attention to that because it's not right.
So I'm on version 4.0010. Is that the latest version?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the one. So the
Okay.
software is doing its thing. It's sending the search signals in, and it's effectively pushing your site up. It's just not showing you the real live data of what it's supposed to.
Okay. I just want
So
to get clarification what's wrong.
yeah, no, I talked to Chris about it. We're gonna have to have the whole thing like redeveloped, the app part. It's gonna be pretty expensive to do that, and it's gonna take some time. And we're in the middle of rolling out our new product called Optimancer. And Optimancer is going to blow your mind.
Oh, what's that?
and and we're going to have to make the decision once we roll Optimancer out. We're going to have to make the decision: do we sunset SitePop and just like let it fade into the sunset, or do we redevelop it after we get Optimancer up and running? And what Optimancer is, it's the AI version. We were trying to roll it all into SitePop, and it's not going to work as one product. So we redeveloped it on its own under the name Optimancer. And what it is, it's a WordPress plugin. And it doesn't just work with WordPress. You could use it on Shopify or whatever you want to do.
I was going to say, there you go with WordPress again.
But there's so many people on WordPress, we created an actual plugin for the WordPress people.
Okay.
And what it does, when you set up your campaign, just like you set up a SitePop campaign in the software goes out to the website, it spiders the entire site. It looks at every page and it AI optimizes the content for every page. Like it does your titles, your descriptions, it does your LLM files, it does your schema code for each page, and it
So
also creates an AI FAQ for each page.
is that doing it off the site or is it doing it to the site?
It's doing it off the site in
Okay.
files that you would give to your web developer to do. And then in the WordPress plugin, it just takes it and it injects it all into the site and does it for you.
Okay.
So, and it keeps it up to date. So like let's say Jim put it on all of his client sites and then the clients were updating their content. As soon as they update their content, it's going to go back and reread it, update the FAQs, update the schema if necessary, and keep the site always up to date. And then in the reporting, it's going to give out a page by page report of the entire website with graphs and like color bars. Like it'll say, okay, this site is in the yellow. You could do these things that would take it into the green. And that gives you a visual thing to hand over to a client to show value in what you're doing as a provider of those optimization services. We learned a lot from providing SEO services and the fact that if you can't show reporting for what you're doing, you're not going to
Right.
keep the client very long.
Yeah.
So this thing is going to pump out a very robust report that's going to make you look like a god.
As long as it works for other sites besides WordPress.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can. It's just the WordPress plugin automates the updates of all the stuff.
Yeah.
But you could go in and you just have to manually update the stuff in any other site. But it does the work for you. You just
But
copy and paste.
it'll show you what the update or tell you what the update.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It'll like give you the LLM file. It'll give you the the schema code, plug the schema code in, plug this FAQ in on the bottom of each page. And it's a different FAQ for each page. Like there's
Oh,
literally an FAQ for every page related to the content of that page.
okay.
So, and that optimizes you for AI. When the AI goes in and spiders your site and starts seeing all this content that's built for it, that's what it's going to fall in love with. So that's our new product called Optimancer, and it literally is going to be rolled out here in the next probably week or two.
Really?
Yep.
So
It's
you've
awesome.
you've been keeping it on the back burner all this time.
Well, it's like we went through so many changes and iterations of what we were doing and how we were going to do it, and are we going to bring it out under Rainmaker? Are we going to do this? And I think we're going to put Rainmaker as just the overarching umbrella of all of our optimization products.
Okay.
So Rainmaker will just become the overarching brand for optimization for us. And then we'll have if we rebuild SitePop, we'll have SitePop as part of the stable. We'll have Optimancer, and we'll have the AIO Dominator.
Hmm.
So we'll have those three under the Rainmaker umbrella.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
it'll be like the ultimate suite of AI stuff.
The ultimate storm.
Yeah. The ultimate Rainmaker.
Great. All right. Sounds
Well,
good. Thanks, buddy.
and guess what? It's all SaaS software. So
Oh, good.
it's creating opportunities for other people to work, not me to work. So, so cool. But all right. Anything else before we wrap up? I know some of you will be on my crypto call here in an hour and 15 minutes, and I got some really exciting stuff for you guys. You're all about to wear a new hat that says wealthy man or wealthy woman on it. So, all right, guys. Well, we will let you go to it, and I will see you all next week. All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.